Hey guys, welcome back to Fort Mort. We are back to the modding series. It is Friday. It is time to talk about the M Troopers, and I have a very special Muppety guest in the Ranger Danger. What's up, man?
What's going on, man? Well, since you said Muppet, I feel like I should have done Kermit there or something.
Oh, you could have brought it in. You could have brought it in. You know, I got Miss Piggy backgrounds.
You want? Hey, Mort, what's long and green smells like Miss Piggy? My finger! Yay!
Good stuff. Yes, Dodger, Friday, man. We are on TWITCH. YouTube doesn't like when we say it, so we're recording this live right now, guys. Fort Mort 411. Fort Mort 411. Just so you're aware. I heard it kills the algorithm, so you know. Hey, Grandmother Wolf followed. Hello, Mama. All right, so we're going to talk about, keep in mind, guys, everybody mods everything a little bit different, and everything depends on what mods you have. So sometimes you got to do a workaround, but today we're going to talk about the way that Ranger believes is the best way, and I know it's the best way because Ranger said so, to mod M Troopers. So, that's right. Ranger, I'm going to let you go ahead and take the floor, sir.
All right, so let's talk about Imperial Troopers. Now, once upon a time, Imperial Troopers were really good. Then they improved Night Sisters, and then they were 50-50. Then a new character came out by the name of Admiral Piett and has changed the game forever. And the reason is because if we can look at Admiral Piett's kit, one thing that he does is that you look under Emperor's Trap. First of all, he has a 60% counter chance. He gives 5% turn meter whenever an Empire ally takes damage. But on top of that, he gives the Emperor's Trap. It's a buff that stacks until the start of the next enemy turns. It's really nice ability. There's a lot of stuff. His kit has allowed the Imperial Troopers to become a powerhouse, and I mean a powerhouse. This team can take out a bunch of teams. I've seen it take down Sith Eternal Emperor teams. It manhandles a lot of other teams. Because the Imperial Troopers, you're still going to use, one of the things that you're going to do is you're going to use, with this team is still Veer's lead. Veer's lead is still the important lead that you want to do.
Zeta as well?
Yeah, you're gonna have, I always do all the Zetas. I mean, it's just what I am. The only one that I haven't done on the Imperial Trooper team is Death Trooper, because I don't care about Krennic. So there's that. Yeah. The other one that you definitely want is Stark's Zeta. That's a really nice one as well. But yeah, the only one you're not going to do on this team is Death Trooper. I mean, it's for Krennic. You never bother using them with each other anyway, and it's a wasted Zeta. Do not do that. Now the other ones, Veers, Piett, Stark, the traditional team that's used now. There's two variants of the team because there's another character, Gideon, that we need to talk about. That you can use in this team as well. That can actually be used on defense. But I like to use Gideon elsewhere, but I will talk about how you can use Gideon on this team. So you go Veer's lead, you're going to go Piett, Stark, Range Trooper, Death Trooper. Those are the big five that you want to use. You can get away with using Snow Trooper. You can get away using Shore Trooper, say like your Range Trooper or Snow Trooper's not there. A little bit harder to use because this team's all about going fast, going first, laying damage, getting the kill, and it's pretty much game over with this team.
It's still the concept if you need to get a kill quick in order to boost them up, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not that it boosts them up. What it does is it gives them, it resets all their stuff. Mm-hmm. And it just gets them into this kill box where they just keep getting, and especially with Piett stacking all the stacks, you're just getting all those stacks. And it just makes it to where they just start knocking the crap out of stuff. It's really nice. Now, when you're modding this team, the concept is you want Piett to be your fastest. Now, remember, Veers gives 20 speed to your Imperial Troopers. That's why he's still the best lead. Especially if you're doing something like GAC, TW, things of that nature. You want to go Veers lead. His speed's not necessarily important. It's more about two people, Piett and then Stark. Now, we'll talk about Gideon if we're going to throw him in here as well. Piett, the ideal modding speed that you want for both these characters is above 310. I know that's just a goal, but the higher you can get them, the better, and you want Piett to go before Stark. The reason being, Piett has two things that you can do in the start of his turn. He can AoE daze and do that, or you can give the turn meter over to Stark to allow Stark to do his thing, to where he does the buff up, you get all the buffs, and then you get that turn meter, and then you're off to the races. So it gives you a couple of options. So having Piett as your fastest, and I think his AoE is the one where it does the suborbital strike. I couldn't think of the name of it right off the bat, but it dazes for 2 turns.
Yep.
And it does a bunch of stuff. It's really, really nice. I've actually used that move. I've actually used that move first in some regard against certain teams, so that they don't, especially if they do a lot of call and assisting. That's a really nice ability to use right off the bat. Let's say, especially like Mon Mothma, that team loves to call and assist. You get that daze going off first, and then even if your Stark is fast enough, which he should be anyway, he goes second. The order that you want to have him to is Piett, then Stark. Stark goes, he gets the team going, and then it's off to the races. Death Trooper you want in there because he does multiple things. If they're days, he can stun. He does his AoE grenade, which removes abilities on cooldowns. He does the death mark, which is really important because you usually will scout the team out before you go and say, okay, who's the weakest? Who can I go for after first? Because that's who you're usually going to attack. And then once that's done, then you go for the big target with death mark, get that off the board. Usually you've got two of their characters down, and you're pretty much in a good spot. Range Trooper is just there to get the protection up. You really like that he does the retribution because it gives them free shots. The other thing too is this team calls and assists a lot too, so that's really nice to have that as part of it. And so all their abilities with their call and assist. Veers is really nice because he does that one where he does the ability block. They all call and assist, so that's really nice. So you go Piett, Stark, then Veers will go, then Death Trooper, Range Trooper will go. Pretty much kind of like that. You look for the easiest target, and with Piett in there now, they're stacking up damage, they're stacking up their abilities, they're getting that turn meter, and as soon as they kill something, then that other team is in big trouble. It doesn't matter whether it's Night Sisters, Bounty Hunters. I used it on multiple different teams. I mean, when you're talking about a Relic Trooper team taking out C teams, depending on what the C team is, that tells you a lot. I mean, Loki did it.
Tell me again, the team was Veers, Stark, Piett.
Yeah, Veers,
Death Trooper,
Stark, Range Trooper.
Range Trooper. Okay. And what's his benefit from the protection? It doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of offense there, but yet they assist so goddamn much.
He does do a call and assist. Range Trooper, he's just mainly there to get that retribution on. He can get that protection back, which is kind of cool. You kind of need that. But yeah, this is the team that you could run. Now, the other variation of this team that you will see people run, and I've seen it on defense lately, it's actually a really nasty defensive team. It kind of makes you have to use like CLS or something. Yeah. Just if you have the mods for it.
Gideon.
It's Piett. It's Gideon. You put Piett in there. You're still going to go Veers Lee. You're still going to have Piett. The one you're replacing is Stark. You don't need Stark for this. You're going to go in there with Gideon. Now, Gideon, you can make super, super fast.
Yeah, he's naturally one of the fastest in the game, right?
Right. Yeah. So what happens is that you've got Gideon in there, and when Gideon takes his turn, it does the demoralize, which demoralizes the other team. So they're significantly reducing their damage on there. He can also remove their turn meter. He's not going to do that. The AI doesn't do that. He always does the damn armor shred, and then he'll take turn meter, but they're demoralized. It really makes it tough to take down unless you use a super, really good team. And it can be a real pain in the ass because with the troopers being able to call and assist and everything, I've seen it on defense do some nasty stuff to some people because they don't know what to do. I mean, you can go in there with CLS, shoot first, and prevent Gideon from going.
Right.
That's one of your better options. But Gideon, you can easily get, like mine, I don't even have the best mods on him. He's 320 something. I still have a couple 6Es. He'll probably be around 330. You add 20 speed from Veers, he's at 350. So if you think about that, when you go again, even like a Darth Revan, who's what are most
Darth Revan
40 at the best, right? So he's not, Darth Revan ain't going first. Nasty Basti ain't going first. So it's a nasty team. At the worst case scenario, it takes a bunch of banners away. So it's a nice team on defense if you want to use it. I don't like using that team on defense, and I'll tell you why. I think Gideon is one of those characters you can use in multiple teams.
Yeah.
I like to use him with Traya.
Versatile.
Because, with the Sith Triumvirate, you can put Gideon on that team. He does his thing, and then you just allow the Sith Triumvirate, who also reduces damage from the other team and stuff, to really just, it can take out a bunch of stuff. It gives you a lot of flexibility. You know, Sith Triumvirate with another tank and Gideon, you just sit there and you just wreck. I mean, Padme, it doesn't matter. They're not doing anything. You can against Geonosians, you know, Spies damage becomes obsolete, you know, especially with that team. I mean, there's a lot of teams you can use to take that out, especially with Gideon on the team. So that's really the concept of the troopers. Now, I think if you're around earlier levels, you really want to focus on your speed mods on Piett and Stark. The rest, do the best you can. You can go like all damage, but you want potency with Death Trooper.
Yeah.
Range Trooper, you really want to make him beefy just to survive. I kind of do the same thing with Veers. You make him beefy because you want him. You can do potency too because you want the ability blocks.
Yep.
But Piett and Stark, it's all about speed.
Speed.
More speed, the better. If you get them around 300, you're good. If you get them above 310, you're really good because that's when they really start shining. Remember, you get that 20 speed, so they're going to be in that 330 range. Okay. And that's how you outspeed a lot of teams.
Yep. So what are you using, particularly this team that you were highlighting? What are you using it to beat?
Lots of stuff. It just depends on what the person places. So if I see bounty hunters, or if I see night sisters, or if I see, it just depends on what they place. I will go in there and use the troopers. It's that kind of flexible team that I have that I want to use just in the background. Just like, okay, I want to go get, because you're going to get 60 banners. They're going to regenerate their health because every time you get a kill, they get all that stuff back plus their health protection. So if you win with troopers, you're going to win with 60 banners most case scenarios. It just depends. It's really going to dictate on what the person places on defense. But you can kill a lot. As I said, you can kill C. One of the teams that's a little bit rougher for the troopers is Padme, because you know when you're calm, right. Yeah. But I mean, I've seen it with C versus a bunch of Sith and tanks, and it just wrecked the hell out of it. That was the first time I saw it. And this is a great team too to use in Dark Side TV. It is a phenomenal team, even if you have it at Gear 12. Yeah. I actually did Phase 3 with the Gear 11 Piett back in the day with Gear 12 troopers and got 4 out of 4 on Phase 3. And then I got a 3 on a 4 on Phase 4. That's how good this team is.
I love they're doing it all without a tank too. Range Trooper is the closest thing you've got to a tank in that
yeah, you don't need a tank. Yeah, it's not. You don't need it. It's really a phenomenal team. But see, bounty hunters, night sisters. I'm trying to think who else I've used against this. A lot of teams. It just destroys. Definitely can do C.
You mentioned Mon Mothma.
Mon Mothma. That's another one it can do. Rebels, CLS is a little bit harder because Han always gets to
first.
Yeah, it depends on who he shoots first. So it's kind of an RNG gamble there. Padme, not so much, just because of the way Padme is set up. It's just not going to work out too well.
Yeah, this just keep stacking protection. It's a terrible situation.
Yeah. Gas is another one that's really hard. Darth Revan, actually, you can use it against Darth Revan, depending on the speeds. If you can go first for Darth Revan, you can burn Nasty Bassy down, and then that makes that team a little bit. If you can kill him like Bassy or one of the weaker ones first, and you get to go because you get that turn meter, you can take out Darth Revan, but it's totally dependent on the modding situation. So,
do any of these guys have healing immunity, like to take on Malik in that DR, or they just burn him?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they even have that, but they do have Death Mark, and see, that's another team thing that's good about this is like you face like those nest teams, things of that nature. You have to be careful though with the team you're running with. I am seeing that troopers can get into that loop because if you have Stark's Zeta, he's removing turn meter and they're removing turn meter, so you can get into the infinite loop with anybody with Nest on there. So if you're going to use it, you got to kill Nest before put the Death Mark on and make that. But it's not the best against Nest because you get the loop, just like with CLS you can get the loop. This will be the same thing. I've checked that out before. It's not good. So JTR, it works.
That was one I was just going to mention. I bet that one does well too.
Yeah, because you get off fast, you get off loose. It doesn't give time to get that evasion going, so you can pick a target and burn it down. So yeah, it's a really flexible offensive team. It's a really flexible defensive team. You can put this team, especially in the back wall, in fives, and be like, surprise!
Yeah.
You're at UCLS. What you got now? Because I've seen it hold multiple times. Because you run into a team like this in the back wall that's got a Gideon that's got, like, say 330, 320 speed, right? They don't have something for that. He's going to go first, and he's going to make their life miserable. I mean, Trey might be able to do it, but the problem is when you're running with Trey against the troopers is you need time to build up nihilists, and they're just beating the snot out of you. So it's a really difficult matchup on defense. So.
Makes sense, but we've all got, there's only so many counters that you can take on certain teams. So to recap, make sure I got it right, make sure the audience got it right. So we got Colonel Stark and Piett as fast as possible. Is there anything you'd add to those two in particular if you could afford the speed and something else?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm running right now. I think I've got Piett at, let me look at what I just recently did him. He's at 313. I think my Stark is at 311. Right. I'm working on getting their mods up. My goal is to get them around 320.
What about like offense or crit if you can afford it with the speed? What would you, if you had two of the same mods?
Yeah, so if you're going to run, I think I run a crit chance with just as much offense as you can in the secondaries. Yeah. They are going to start stacking offense, so I like crit chance and offense, any offensive categories that I can get my hands on. Stark gets he starts hitting hard if they're debuffed, and you're going to be throwing a lot of debuffs around with that team as well. So, offense secondaries if you can. You want speed, but yeah, anything offense related, you're not going to worry too much. They're weak. They're very paper thin. So even at Relic, they can get hit, but making them hit as hard as they can, because the sooner somebody dies, the better for you. It's a time game. Can you kill one of their characters before they get loose? And
it says under Range Trooper, all allies gain 40% protection up, so that's 40% of their base, right?
From their.
If you can afford protection on there with that speed, that'd be a good stat to have on there too for survivability, right?
You can do that. That's why you want Range Trooper in there, because even if they take a hit or two, at Relic they're going to be pretty solid. But if they take a hit or two, and having Range Trooper in there, one gets that protection back, and also gives them that retribution. So now you're not only did he just give them some of their protection back, but now anytime you hit one of them, unless you can get a daze going, one of them's going to fire, and you run the chance that they could all fire back at you because they call an assist to one another with the way the team's designed. That
trooper does have 70% chance to drop healing immunity for 2 turns, so that's a plus. So you said you wanted potency on him, is that right?
Definitely want potency on Death Trooper.
Okay. And then
I think I'm running speed. You could ideally you can go more damage if you want to. I'm actually running speed on him with potency because I want Death Trooper to go as fast as possible, but he's a super slow character. So
Stark is the oddball out. How are we modding him?
Speed.
I'm sorry, not Stark. I meant Beers. Sorry, Beers. I meant Beers.
I just made I made him beefy because I just potency because of his ability. Yep. And just verify that. Yeah, you can go, I think I just redid him. I actually made him hit harder, so I put an offense hit on him with good speed secondaries, but definitely potency.
So potency for the ability block, and then of course offense because you're going to be going at him. Yeah. Awesome. Plus you want it to land through all those assists. Awesome, brother. I'm digging it. I love the M Troopers. If you guys have not played M Troopers, they're so much fun. Even at a low level, I love taking Night Sisters out with them. It's amazing. So much fun.
It really is. It's a silly team. And if you say you don't have trio, but you got Gideon, pop Stark out, put Gideon in, as long as he's faster than their GVA. Go have fun kicking the crap out of the Geonosians because they're not doing a damn thing.
Another Geo counter. Yes.
It gives you a lot of flexibility on your offense. Those two characters, Piett and Gideon, have really changed the dynamics of what the troopers can do. Because back in the day, you had the other. I mean, we haven't talked about Magma or Stormtrooper or Snow Trooper, really. Those kind of characters. Shore's still pretty good. He's a pretty solid tank.
Yep.
But those characters are good, but they don't fit the style of what you're trying to do with troopers.
Right.
Because they just don't do enough damage.
You could use them as a cleanup team as well in there. I mean, Snow Trooper, they got some pretty cool abilities, but Yeah, I see where you're going with that one. Veers and Stark are just so good together, and Piett Piett is so good. Oh my god, he's so good.
He was the game changer character.
Yeah.
When I first saw him as a kid and we looked at it, I was like,
Yeah.
that's silly. I mean, those stacks, they don't take a turn, and you keep getting those stacks. It's funny, like you can do the Ewok event and have like 200 stacks, just one shot and everything. It's silly. It's a thing in Darkside TV. They can really get those stacks going, but once they get those stacks going, they just start hitting harder and harder and harder, and those teams start dying quicker and quicker. So.
Empire, baby, they're all turn meter trains, right? They're all turn meter trains.
You're definitely running a turn meter train on somebody when you run damn trooper. So,
all right, brother. Well, we're running about 20 minutes right now. I'm going to cut this off. I think we got all good information in there. Thank you, as always, for joining me. The true Ranger, true military man. Appreciate you, brother. Salute from you, from the battalion. You're freaking awesome. All right, guys, we're going to cut them out. Don't forget, see if I can get this right. My setup's not right. Let's make sure that where's it at? There it is. Hit that follow button. Say goodbye to Ranger. We are on our way out. Thank you, guys. Salute to you. Till next time.
Shut up and sit down.